Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown back here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. Today is the 4th of July, so for all of us Americans, happy 4th of July, and I hope you have some great plans. Now, in this video today, I want to talk about polling. Of course, the debate between Trump and Biden was about 5 days ago. Biden fell on his face. It was a catastrophe. And right now they're brainstorming, the DNC, brainstorming about what they're going to do. Are they going to try to drop Biden, or is Biden going to hang in there and continue the run? Now, there have been a couple of polls that have come out since that debate, and both of them, last two I've seen, have shown Trump up by 6 points, which is a very big deal because Trump historically is always underpolled, and he ends up overperforming his polls during elections. So what I want to do is compare Trump right now, July 4th, to Trump in 2020 against Biden on July 4th, and to Clinton in 2016 on July 4th, or on July 4th, and show you how strong he is today compared to those two other times. And one of those other times he actually ended up winning. So Trump being up now is a very scary thing for Democrats. So let's first go back to 2016 against Hillary Clinton, July 4th. And the average for Clinton was 1.5 points. So she was up 1.5 points on July 4th. And if you look at the graph here, this was at a time where the polling actually narrowed. So before July 4th, she was up by 5, 8, 10 points. And after July 4th, she was up by 4, 5, or 6 points. So this actually showed things closer polling-wise than it otherwise did other parts of the year. Going on to November, she won. She won. Thank God she didn't. Trump won, and he overperformed the polls by 1.1 points. So Trump was always behind in the polls. He ended up winning, although Hillary did win the popular vote. Now, let's jump to July 4th, 2020 against Biden. At this point, Biden was up 8.7 points. Now, of course, we had the pandemic. We had 3.5 years of the media beating down Trump. Of course, we had the George Floyd riot. So we do have those things hanging over the nation at the time of the polling, which probably gave, or I'm sure gave Biden a little boost there, but he was up 8.7 points against Trump at that point. Now, of course, the election, Trump actually overperformed the polls by 2.7 points. So that's a big deal. Almost 3 points overperforming. That's a big deal. And that's a big deal considering the fact that we had historic changes in the electoral system, the voting system, and they were counting ballots for days after the election. And despite all that, Trump still overperformed by 2.7 points. And in those few battleground states where Biden won the election, he only won by 11,000 votes in Georgia, a small margin in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan. So it was actually a lot closer than the final electoral count showed. So Trump overperformed 2.7 points. So now let's look at 2024, July 4th. He was down 8.7 in 2020. And right now against Biden, he is actually leading Biden by almost 3 points. The RP average has him up 2.9 points. And that is a big deal. So if he's up at almost 3 points right now, and he were to overperform the polls by just 2 points, he would win by 5 points in the popular vote. And of course, Trump is never favored to win the national or the popular vote because of just California and New York and other huge populations. So 5 points in the national polls means that in the battleground states, he's winning, handedly, and he will have an electoral college blowout. So this is why Democrats are panicking. This is why they're trying to figure out if they're going to jettison Biden and bring somebody else in, because the polling is not good. And their own internal polling, which has leaked out, has been really bad as well. So what are Democrats going to do? No one knows. One thing I've said about this election cycle is anything's possible. Anything is possible. There's nothing they won't do to try to win. How far will they go? I don't know. Obviously they're trying to throw him in jail. The Supreme Court has stepped in on the federal charges, and now they're delaying the sentencing for his alleged crimes in New York. So Trump has had a string of wins as far as his criminal stuff goes. But will they do something else? Don't know. Don't trust them. I think that some people in the establishment are starting to understand that Trump will probably win. And we're seeing some signs that they're going, okay, he's not perfect. We got guys like Bill Ackman, the billionaire, going, okay, he's Trump, but, he's the guy. We can't support Biden. So there are some people in the establishment that are kind of warming up to him, or at least recognizing that he probably will win, and are trying to get on the right side right now. But the national security state, the foreign policy establishment, they hate his guts. They do not want him talking to Putin. And I think that's really the biggest issue here, is Ukraine and foreign policy with Trump. That is what scares the foreign policy establishment. And they're the people that will go the farthest to try to make sure Trump is not in office. So we have 4 months left. That's a lot of time for them to play their little games. And this will be really interesting. Obviously, I want Trump to win, but just as an observer, watching the nation at this time, it's really, really fascinating as far as all the potential things that could happen for good and for bad. And hopefully, some of these saner heads prevail in the establishment and they don't do anything too drastic. So right now, Trump looks good in the polls. And it's hard to see a scenario where he could lose. But again, it's 2024. Things are crazy. Anything is possible. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me, and have a fantastic 4th of July.